Okay, go ahead.
Asia Summit was still dope up until it ended. You know what I mean? Which was just like last year or something like that.
Yeah, I went to the last one.
I told Asia, I was like, this is a funeral, right? Like, not that the jam was dope, but I'm saying, like, you ending this it's like, what else? What other community jams are really like as big as this in LA?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? But I think everything has a time, man, and I think like it's kind of okay. Like right now, there's a lot of kids breaking. I think there's more kids than I've ever seen breaking. There's a lot of kids breaking. At least here in California, I'm seeing tons of kids. And, it looks like Red Bull is kind of starting to make their way out or something like that. Or you know what I mean? And so now there's going to be a hole, you know what I mean? And I think if we, create some real events, and not just events, but hold real practices, teach properly, teach about the history of breaking, we might have an opportunity to like reach the younger generation that's coming up. The generation now is lost. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like the young kids, and we might, we have an opportunity to like, bring it back to something that resembles more breaking. You know what I'm saying? And not breakdancing. You know what I'm saying?
I feel everything you said. I think if the kids were taught like the organic way and not the contest mindset,
exactly,
it will go back.
Exactly.
We'll see that 90s era again.
And that's what I mean. Like when I brought up Cypher Addicts, like having a
jam. Oh my God, yeah.
Yo, first time I brought my kids to Juice, you were there. One of my kids goes, "All right, so when does the competition start?" I was like, "Nah, what you mean? It's a practice. Like this is just a community practice, bro. Like the DJ's here, because he saw the DJ." So, you know what I mean? And he's confused. He was like, yo, okay, this is a jam. I'm at a jam. We're about to battle. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, that's not. You know what I mean? Man. The way that these kids are brought up nowadays, it's another thing, is like classes. Everything is a class. Everything is a teacher. Everything is a, you know what I mean? Like we want to go to the studio, there's mirrors and there's this whole thing. And, and even in my time, that wasn't a thing. Like, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Somebody just saw you and was like, yo, either you asked, yo, can you teach me? Or they were just like, yo, I'm going to teach you. I got you.
Right.
Or you go to a jam and K1 is there teaching people random stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how my generation learned. I walked into a room and quick step, I did with some windmills. And quick saw potential. And he was like, yo, come to practice. Come next week or something. You know what I'm saying? And so now that, it's just different now with the younger generation.
You know what's missing though too is the trucker hat.
Bring it back.
I know, but I'm just saying, even in the 2000s, the trucker hat was like, I had at least like 30 of them. I swear I had every color, and it was fresh. To have a trucker hat and some Pro Kids, or a yellow trucker hat with some yellow Pumas, just the fact that you look like a B-boy, and it's so classic, and you can take photos, you can hang out, and you still look fresh for the night.
And
notice I said hang out.
Yeah, exactly. Like. Because it's so different, going back to like how it's different now. Like, I am trying to. I get it. Like people, teachers, people that have the ability to break, they need to make money. You know what I'm saying? So it's, and so I get it. You gotta teach. So you gotta have a school, and But I gotta be honest. I don't normally see kids come out of schools that are nasty.
Ooh.
It sometimes happens, like not for nothing. It sometimes happens, especially if, I think only when the teacher is like, nah, I got you. Yeah, we in the school, but I got you on a different level. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
I'm teaching. We go over here, and we, you know what I mean? When we, you know, but like just in a straight up school, like, because that's not how this thing is really passed on, man. This thing is not passed on like that. For me, like, it's not really passed on some kind of monetary exchange. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be, and like, even with I have a school and I teach. You know what I'm saying? And I really have to try and find that balance too. Like, I try to give, like, I was taught for free, basically. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now I'm teaching and I'm charging. So I try to select few, right? Not all of them, but to select few. I try to basically give them more classes than what they're paying for.
Okay.
Basically, you know what I'm saying? Go with them to the jams and like be there, you know, because like I have to give back to the culture. I have to give back to breaking and creating a business with it and making money from it. And teaching breaking is not giving back; it's giving to it, but it's an exchange. I'm talking about giving back in the way that I was given. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I wouldn't be MACH3. I'm MACH3 for free. I didn't pay a dime to be. You know what I'm saying? I've traveled the world. Quick taught me all kinds of shit. I trained under mad people too. Like for a little while. Like under Kenny. Kenny took me for like a summer. I trained under him.
Oh, really?
I trained under a couple people. You know what I'm saying? And like, I need to make sure that I could kind of in a real way give back. You know what I'm saying? So there's that thing, and I kind of feel like that's the only way you really get some dope little B-boys and B-girls, man. K-Mel taught those little Boogie Brats kids. You know what I'm saying? And it was the same thing.
Prodigy.
Bro, all of them.
Yeah, but all Prodigy though, bro.
The names that you don't even hear about, they're nasty. All of them are nasty. I love those kids.
Yeah.
Crash, Boogie,
Truth.
Truth. Oh my God. Truth, man. Damn, rest in peace. Dreads, nasty. Yeah, so like, you know, he taught them, and yeah, it was paid. He had a class, but bro, he raised those kids like, not raising them, so they had parents. They had very loving parents, unlike you know what I'm saying? Like us, like our teachers were kind of, you know what I'm saying, like they helped out, you know what I'm saying? But like
yeah, once Prodigy figured it out, he would go to Cypher Addicts and he would just melt anybody in sight. Yeah. And it was so ridiculous that he knew.
Yeah.
And he was like mad young. He must have been probably no older than 16. And this fool was just like going through people like just water. And he's smiling at you the whole time.
Those were his prodigies.
Yeah, bro. He was all of them. Yeah, all of them.
And you know, they're nasty to this day. Some of them don't even get down, but I seen them sometimes. I seen Crash not long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's doing his acting thing. He's dope.
Oh, he's doing okay. I seen him in a Dorito commercial maybe about 4 years ago.
He's doing his thing.
While he was eating, I said, "Yo!" I seen the truth when he was alive on the Disney Channel. It was, and he brought on X-Mob. But he just had like a regular scene. He was like talking to a girl and but then I know he was a B-boy because I was like, oh, that's the truth right there. Yeah,
Cameron.
Yeah, man. So we was talking about. Can you share with me the importance of understanding, like the AI technology, like as far as like as a B-boy community to start utilizing that, because I feel it's probably untouched, untapped right now, but I can see everybody that's really making money, like on TikTok and on the shorts.
Yeah.
They're killing it right now, bro. And these are kids.
Yeah, I mean, I when it comes to that stuff, like social media and stuff like that, like I'm really not sure, but I just do know that, like, you know, these new tools and stuff like that, it's like ways that for people, like certain people, it can just kind of level the playing field. You know what I mean?
like that.
Like to have like this, like we literally have tools now that any questions that we have are answered. Any things that we want to do, you know what I mean? Like
I like that, brother. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, and I think that is really important, especially right now for us to really tap into this stuff. And whether it's about you trying to figure out how to make money with it or not, but just to learn about it and use it and just be aware of what's happening. Because I think like I personally think we're at a new type of industrial revolution type.
We are.
Type. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel it.
It's like the digital.
I seen a robot walking in downtown LA with the lady.
Yeah.
But it was dressed up. It had Jordans on too.
Nah, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I you know.
It was a robot walking with the lady.
That's crazy. Oh, with the cowboy hat? I seen one with a cowboy hat walking down the street. Not in my eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I seen it in a video. But like, I don't know. I just think it's definitely time. Like,
yeah.
You know, I don't know what's about to happen, but yeah, people got to tap into like and just try to be able to use everything, utilize, tell
especially the b-boy community though.
Tell your stories too.
Right.
B-boy community. Yeah.
So yeah, I was sharing this with somebody, and I'll share it with you. Okay, I'll use skateboarding as an example. I think Tony Hawk is probably 57 years old, something like that. If Tony Hawk goes out anywhere, like Troy, he can go to the mall, he can go to Chipotle, everybody will know who he is, from the youngest kid in a baby stroller to an adult. B-boys, it's been around just as long as skateboarding, more dynamic, more crazy, but B-boys don't have a fan club outside of breaking like skateboarding. Like if Romain went out or K-Mel went out to a regular store, it's like, they're superheroes, but it's like they're not recognized. And I want to ask you, is like, why is that, you think though? Like, why does breaking only have a fan club within itself, but it doesn't have no outside support? Like people want to buy like a Boogie Rats jersey that just want to just be. He might be a surfer.
Right. I think maybe not because of maybe not like right now. That's not the case necessarily. But I think like back in the day when skateboarding and breaking started to have its time, you know, breaking is hip hop. It's black and brown. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not something that people want to really highlight in a certain way unless they just want to highlight it to, you know what I'm saying, benefit from it. You know what I mean? Put it in a Coca-Cola commercial real quick. But, you know what I mean? When it comes to like supporting it in a different type of way, supporting it in like, let's have a community center where they break. Let's have a breaking park. They wouldn't do that, but they did the skate parks. You know what I'm saying? And it was just as popular probably back then, breaking and skating. I don't know, but
you're right.
Right, but they had man skate parks and they did all that. So I'm not talking about commercially. I'm talking about like when it comes to like communities and like states and what they're gonna do with their money and their funding. You know what I mean? Like they ain't trying to fund breaking. Like, and so I think that breaking didn't really get as popular as it could have been because it didn't get that. You know what I mean? Like. It just got used for commercials and movies real quick, and once that kind of faded out, it was a wrap, you know. And skateboarding, like, I don't know if it faded out the same. I feel like it wasn't as popular as breaking, but maybe that's just because I'm a b-boy, so that's the world that I know. You know
I was skateboarding after I stopped breaking the first time.
Okay.
So I was skating in the '80s, so I seen it explode.
Okay, yeah, but well, commercially or whatever, but like, yeah, they're you know, that's why I think like back then, you know, for right now, I think now, to be honest with you, it's just tough for anything to. There's so much. There's so many distractions. There's so many things going on that like I don't necessarily think it's any more than what I just said earlier about because this was a black culture. You know what I mean? I think it's now. It's just because it's a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like kids are, there's so much shit. You know what I mean? Like it's hard for like kids to grasp anything. Like kids that are breaking now, they do a billion other things. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you know, I don't know. But I think that's what it is. Like the Olympics thing didn't really do anything for breaking. To be honest with you, I don't blame it on the B girl. I don't think that she had.
It was a tryout.
Yeah, but like the whole, I know like it wasn't gonna be again, but I just mean what it did to its popularity or whatever. Like how it did. People were like, oh, after this and because of her, now breaking is not. No, I don't think it's because of her. I just think that the general public is just there's just so much shit to look at that people
I
are
know.
not really interested in too many things. You know what I mean? Like people are like overwhelmed with all the stuff. You know what I mean? That like breaking is just, unless you're really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ain't nobody gonna go watch it like a sports game.
Oh.
It's not like that. It's not like that. You know what I mean?
And it's crazy because majority of everybody want to push it like a sport.
We could do it like a sport. You know, we could have its own place, and we can have little tournaments that's like a sport. But just don't expect there to be cards and sporting cards and different people or kids that don't break or not into breaking. And
Yeah.
They just they go to the jam just to see the battle because that. I mean that. Think about any sport that's new. When was the last time a new sport got popular? You know what I'm saying? And not to say that this is new, but like if it wasn't really getting a lot of recognition, but it is now, it's kind of new. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In that way, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, bro, it's not gonna happen. Like I don't think that's gonna happen.
I was just, kind of just like brainstorming that because I remember in the 90s, like when certain dancers would show up, like Abstract, Cloud, Vietnam. I gotta throw myself in there too. Certain people, when we walk in, everybody would get real excited.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like breaking still has that element today with the newer generation?
Very little. Like I'm talking about almost no. Almost no. I'm only almost no.
When did that die out?
I think the internet was part of it. I think the internet was part of it, and then I think breaking, changing to a point where everybody's doing amazing stuff, and what makes you dope changed. You know what I'm saying?
I think after Seco did that video when he did the 2790s.
That was it. Climax. Nothing else.
Yeah.
What you gonna see after that?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so then you gotta go back to style. You know what I mean? This and that and but I think the internet, had a big effect on it. I think being able to see everybody all the time.
The reason why I say that too, because I remember there was a gym in San Jose, and this is right around the time when Reveal was doing Kamel and Amiga's. He was doing his Amiga set though, and he walks in the gym and he goes sit up at the top, and like everybody in the room was kind of tripping, and somebody yelled out "Biter!" And he was like eating some food, but he was smiling.
Right.
Because he knew what that meant. But the fact that somebody personally had to call him out, like he had that type of tension when Reveal would show up to certain places, like you could tell, like all the competition, everybody started getting nervous though, bro.
Right.
Because he could do everything.
Yeah.
He can do that twist, that critical into the spider, a critical into the spider, all in one motion was like, that was like some super advanced, thinking though.
Yeah.
So they would take that to the East Coast, and people like in all those events, they wasn't ready for that though, bro.
We were
Not with that type of like.
The West Coast was definitely when I was starting, when I was breaking. West Coast was doing air flares and power and crazy stuff, and the East Coast was more footwork and ground power. We were doing power. It was just different. It was
ground power, yeah.
Ground. We were spinning quick, and these motherfuckers was flying.
Yeah.
I loved that. Can I just say I loved that? I love that there was like this clear difference. I loved right before YouTube, there were still these pockets of, B-boys and B-girls that were just different. You dress different.
I know.
And you dress like your crew, and these people and you break different. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole, But I'm just talking about obviously you break different, but you just look different. Like you just walk in, you be like, well, I'm motherfucker's from Queens. Like how you know? You just see it. He's from Queens. Look at him. Look how he walked in. You know what I'm saying? And then he breaks and you go, definitely he's from Queens. Probably could even tell what crew he's from.
Right.
And when YouTube really breaking really got on YouTube a lot, I started seeing people and they look like they're from California.
Yeah.
They're from the Bronx. Yeah, this hot socks up, pulled up.
With the Dickie shorts.
the chucks. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, yo. At first, I was like, oh, some California motherfuckers here. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. I seen them rocking. Like, oh, nah. What do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like,
that era was funny, too.
And that's when breaking just started. I don't know. For me, I was just like, this shit's kind of whack.
Kind of
you
whack?
know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of whack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't into it the way I was. I was really about all those little things about the culture, about the scene, the rules, the code, you know what I mean? And once people kind of just, it was just kind of the world of breaking, the whole scene was kind of whack to me, you know what I'm saying? And I still got down for a long time, I practiced by myself, but then slowly I just kind of stopped breaking. It was different. The whole thing's different.
Right. I say that too, because when I go to the new events and I walk in, you know, I'm smiling. The DJ's playing. He might play like the Mexican or something, but it's mainly like a lot of the Red Bull, like, you know, computer beats. And I'm looking at the guys and I'm looking at everybody, and it kind of looks like almost like a funeral because everybody's dressed in all black.
Yeah, that was a thing. You know, sometimes you go to the gym and you feel like you dress all black and you got your hoodie on and you feel like you know what I'm saying? And maybe you're going through something that day or that.
That's what you're going through, bro.
You know
you're going through something.
So that's your energy that day. Yeah. That's your vibe, and you're gonna rock like that, and you're gonna let out whatever you gotta let out. But now it's a character. Like all the stuff that we would do or whatever, people are literally wearing it like a character. You know what I'm saying? They're wearing it, they're putting it on, and they're becoming this thing, and then they, you know what I mean? And it's so unnatural, it's so weird. And then going to the music, like the music is just like computer music that people...
They're figuring out the way to get the out of a 90. Cause it's so...
yeah. Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
and everybody start going crazy.
But the music sounds like, you know, I don't know. The music, I get it. I understand why they can't play breaks. I understand why. It's because it's a commercial thing. Because it's breakdancing. You know what I'm saying? It's a commercial thing. So you can't play the music because you can't get the licensing, whatever. And again, I think there's a time and place for everything. So sure, play the computer music at those gyms, yeah. But again, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not confuse that with real jams, with real music, because that creates a different type of b-boy. You cannot have a b-boy like, let's just say, for example, K-Mel, the way he breaks to the music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not even Machine. I would say Machine too, but I mean more specifically K, because he listens to the lyrics. He's doing, you know what I mean? Like Machine does the same thing, but you know, how could you have that? How could you have a young b-boy or b-girl have that kind of energy and vibe and style if the music is just going? You can't. How are you gonna feel something? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And so if you have only that, only the Red Bull, only the Coast competitions playing that kind of music, you have a whole generation of b-boys and b-girls, which are the ones right now, the dope ones right now, who, that's how they break. Like, they're dope. They're dope. They're doing the craziest moves. But, yo, none of them got, not none of them, because some of them are super nasty, but a lot of them, most of them, they don't got that, you know what I'm saying, that thing. It's not like, it should be a regular thing. You know what I mean? And some of them should be whack, and some of them should be dope, but they should all be able to, you know the songs and know what they're saying in these in these songs and where this shit whole up.
You know what I missed though too? Since you brought that up, everything's so perfect that everybody got silent. I seen Pocket do a set. He did the set of the century, and as soon as he landed, like, nobody clapped. That's how I knew, like, breaking's changing. This motherfucker can almost disappear. Everybody's so used to him taking off his shirt, taking off all of his shoes, that nobody's even excited anymore.
Yeah, that's
like, that's the norm. And he did everything. This fool took off his shirt, did all the slow motion halos like crumbs. He did everything. And when he got up, like, nobody wanted to clap. And I'm thinking, like, breaking's never been like that. I remember when you would break and you would do like 2 flares and they would scrape the floor. You would scrape the windmill. You would scrape on your head spin. You start getting wobbly and the crowd would go crazy because they didn't want you to fall. And the more they scream, the more that you start getting your form perfect. And then that's when the room went crazy.
You could crash, and if it was a dope ass attempt,
right,
they'll still go crazy. Oh, but he tried it.
Right, and you kept going. Crazy. Right, you're kicking up everybody's backpack.
Yo, but that's it. We've reached it.
It's too crazy, man.
We've reached the climax, and this is what we're getting now. So now you see, breaking is not meant for that. It's not meant for big crowds and big audiences. It's not. Because now, what do we do now? What else are we gonna do to impress people? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't. There's nothing else. We're gonna do head spins on top of somebody doing head spins. I mean, they do that. It's not. That's it. You know what I mean? We need to remember that this is not for that. This is for us. This is for us. And the big flashy moves, that's cool, but that's not even gonna impress us. So get back to the real shit. Get back to the foundation. Get back to the style. Get back to the flavor. Get back to the real meaning of breaking. Because as we see, if we trying to get on some commercial shit and have this thing be the next NBA, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen because it's not the time for that. The time is too crazy. Maybe if it was back in the fucking 60s or something, I could maybe see it because there's not that much going on. So this thing looks crazy. People are gonna gravitate to that. But yo, people got computers and all kinds of shit now. They don't give a fuck about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, and we need to forget that idea.
I know.
Forget that whole big arena shit. Like, that's not gonna. It really, it's not gonna be in the Olympics. The Junior Olympics is happening. That's cool. Kids is the Junior Olympics, and I got a kid on the training and doing his thing on that. And it's cool. It's great. I like it. It's cool. But where's that gonna go to? Like, that's not gonna give you a contract. That's not gonna. The biggest thing was, I could be wrong, but the biggest thing was like Red Bull having like a Red Bull deal or something, right? Like an athlete, Red Bull athlete. I think you get sponsored. Maybe you get money. I don't know what they give you, but it seemed like it was it was like a thing to aspire to. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't shit, really. Like, when you really think about it, when you comparing it to some like an athlete, like, nah. And yeah, I would like for people to be like, all right, man, let's throw in the towel with this shit, B. Let's get back to what this shit really is for. It's for us. It's for the community. It's for the culture. It's for the, you know what I'm saying? Have some teachers start teaching maybe for free. Maybe we'll have a different type of kids coming and taking classes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but
I got a question for you though. What was your favorite Skillmethodz battle that you've been in or ever seen? I can name one that was nuts. My favorite of all times though, bro. You can watch it today and like you.
I think Flea and Luigi. I love when they battle together, and Venom, and I'm so bad with names of battles and stuff. And Venom and Luigi enter the 2-on-2 as well.
Oh, okay.
And I think those are some of my favorites. But also, I think my favorite battle, Skillmethodz battle that I've ever seen was Flips versus Abstract at the House Dance Conference back in like early 2000s. It was a one-on-one. It was a final battle. They got matched up. It was dope. It was probably the most amazing battle I've ever seen.
Have you ever seen
at their prime? It was crazy.
Have you ever seen Skillmethodz versus the Rhythm Bugs?
I don't know. I don't think so. I might have.
Bro.
No, yeah.
Abstract
who battled? Who was Abbott? Who was?
It was Abstract, Flea, Cloud, Venom, and who else?
Skillmethodz doing a lot of routines.
There's a lot of routines.
Yeah. I know that battle.
Yeah.
I know that battle, yeah. That was dope. That was incredible. Their energy, their routines, the routines was different too. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was dope.
The first time when I seen Abstract, he stopped in the set. He said, "I get loose," and then Crazy Juice, he act like he drank the juice.
Yeah.
And then the whole room just blew up because like he stopped in the middle of his shit and he said,
"I hear that without thinking of that." Yeah.
Crazy Juice. That element of breaking is definitely gone.
But how can you have that element when the music is not talking about nothing? It ain't talk about nothing. The music is going.
I know. I try to tell people.
What are you gonna mimic? What are you
Yeah.
gonna? What story you gonna tell? You better make up your own fucking story, and it better be good. Cause
you know what? I seen a kids battle, right? It was this little Mexican dude. It was like Japanese kid, Mexican kid, white kid, white kid. There was a 4-way. The little Asian kid came out, act like he shot him in the head, and after he did his last set, he went like this, like he was smoking a blunt. The dad grabbed him by his shirt. Like he grabbed him, like he kind of tilted back his head. He was telling him like, no, like we don't. He's like, you don't supposed to be doing that. For me, I feel like he was right. I don't feel like you should be teaching kids like to shoot other kids in the head. I mean, it looked at cute because he thought he was gonna get a big crowd, but it actually backfired because it made the dad look. He was embarrassed though, so he had to stop the little kid because there was a lot of parents, and he kept going up to him, like and he shot him a couple times, and you know it's not this. We know what this is. Yeah. When you're going like, he's only
this and this. There's a difference.
He's 5.
Yeah. No. It's crazy because the thing is really they're like imitating b-boys from this generation now that are imitating b-boys from, I guess, my generation or something like that.
Right.
That lived through a different time, lived through a different experience, that saw stuff like that growing up. That, you know what I mean? Like, like, I don't have to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And like, so when I see these kids doing certain things, it kind of does, kind of.
Yeah.
And sometimes they like some of my students sometimes will be a little bit aggressive with the hand gestures, and sometimes I gotta tell them like, you know what I mean, like just a little bit, because I know I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's part of it, but like this is this. Like, like yo, you're not. You know what I mean? Yeah, like. You guys are not from that. You guys didn't grow up seeing that. You're just imitating something that you have no idea what that is. You don't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying? And even if you were from that, I'm not saying that that's okay, but I understand if you're from that that's what comes out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? But I don't think that. I think that these young b-boys and b-girls need to find a different way to express themselves in a more honest way. You know what I mean? I like, some of them do like martial arts, so they throw their martial arts into it, or they do this and that, so they throw that into it. But like throwing the gangster stuff into it, and you're like, you're wearing a do-rag, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, why you got that do-rag on? Like, what are you doing? You know
His head spinning. He said it make him spin faster.
No. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had that discussion with somebody too. I can't remember who it was. He was like, yeah. I was like, nah, some people just want to look like us. That is okay. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? But also, I don't know. You gotta just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So, yeah, that whole thing with the gestures and the, even with like this, like, to be honest with you, that whole thing.
That was a ground zero thing, bro.
What?
Baby and them started all that.
Nah, man.
They took that mainstream, bro.
No. Baby out here, but in New York, people never stop doing that.
No, I'm saying, but Baby and them took that around the world.
Oh, but I mean, Kenny, you know what I'm saying? Kenny's on B Street doing that. You know what
right,
I'm
but I'm saying they was using it in every battle, like over doing it.
In New York too.
Yeah,
that was happening in New York too.
Yeah.
That was so common in New York.
I know.
But at the same time, like, it wasn't used the way it was used. Even like I seen a lot of people do that, and it's like, okay, like you do that to somebody, and it's okay.
I hear it. I'm being honest with you though. You always got punched in the face.
Yes, exactly. Like,
being honest,
that was so disrespectful. Yeah. And man, I'm telling you, bad people did it a lot, and people get aggravated. Yeah. And that would always almost set something off if it didn't. You know what I mean? Like, it was, and I don't know. I think people do things too. They use things and gestures too lightly, too loosely out here. I think wherever that comes from, which from my understanding, that comes from like gang stuff and prison stuff. And if you did that, that was like next level. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would get whatever for that. And when it came to breaking, it was still very like super disrespectful. Like, yo, you did that, and it was real problems. But nowadays, kids are crazy. They like touching each other. I see battles and people are touching each other and taking their hats and yo, like that is bugged out to me. But it just goes to show that these young people come from a different place. They come from a different era. They come from a different time where you could do that. You could touch somebody on the street and you're not gonna set something off. You know what I mean? Because they're touching people in the battles and grabbing their shirts and yo, it's like, okay, obviously you come from a different place. You think that this is okay to do this. So why do you have all these gestures of guns? And they like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but
I was kind of always confused on that too. Because I grew up in South Central where if you walking like that, like those are the brothers that really got it. All that gesturing that they doing in the battles, that's some real shit in South Central. That's really, like, people really still live like that. Nigga, let's, they want to show the peace. So when I see that in breaking, it, like you said, it looks like a costume to me. Like I'm putting on a costume for today.
I really think it's just, I mean, breaking has changed. Like obviously it's better, but like that stuff still remains. And like I remember I was at Pro-Am in New York. They did Pro-Am in New York at the LPAC, and I was battling. I can't remember who it was exactly right now, but it was me and my people, and we were battling some people, and another group of people came in, right? Breeze team. They came in.
Oh, Breeze team, okay.
And
the street hitters?
The street hitters. And they came in and they were with some other people too. And so it was a bunch of people just walked in. And we battling, and all of a sudden the other crew, these people, they get behind us, right? And so all of a sudden the other crew, they said something crazy disrespectful. And we're there, we breaking, we're battling. The jam is over, and we still battling. And we get up, and my crew, we about to bounce. And they still talking shit. We go back, and we battle some more. At this point, there's mad random ass people at the jam. The jam is over. You know what I'm saying? People are just walking in. Like, right, when the shit's over, there's no more music playing. People just walking in. And we in the Bronx. We're at LPAC.
Ooh.
And one of the dudes, I'd go to do like a move, a flare, I get kicked. And like, at that point, we out. You know what I'm saying? Dude gets picked up by somebody, and he starts getting stabbed up. He stabs him. And the dude ends up in the hospital.
Ooh.
And nobody really knows who did what. You know what I'm saying? but I'm only laughing because he did okay. I know Speedy D and Speedy Legs actually paid for the guy's hospital bills.
Oh.
Because he was laid up. It was bad. It was messed up. But like, anyway, all that to say, like, yo, there was a certain time where like you had to be careful who you were disrespecting. You couldn't just do that to anybody. You couldn't just be loud with anybody, because yo, you never knew. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got into a lot of close calls in New York. Just, you know what I'm saying? Talking right in my mouth, saying the wrong thing, and they take it real to the next level. You know what I mean? Like, but like now it's not really. That doesn't really exist anymore.
I know. It's real friendly right now.
It's real friendly, but it's like still make pretend like it's like
I know
they still want to pretend like they tough and they all this and that, and it's just like I wish that they wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I wish that they wouldn't. Like, just find a way to be you. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that doesn't exist no more. And I'm glad it don't. To be honest with you, like that shit was crazy. It was a crazy ass time in breaking. You know what I mean? But
yo,
some things about it.
I hear, like you said, you didn't grow up out here, but sometimes the battles would get so crazy that like the promoter or whoever was throwing the jam, they would tell me or whoever I was with, we had to go out the back door.
Oh yeah, that happened to me.
Yeah. fools is already they're gonna
you.
try to get the jump on me.
So I won the Zulu anniversary, right? I won it 2 years. The first year I won it, I didn't know nobody. Like literally. I didn't know who Speedy was. I didn't know none of these people. And apparently at that point I didn't know nothing. All I know is that I won the jam, right? And I got this stupid ass fucking trophy. It was like this tall. It's like some gymnastics trophy. And they gave me like a couple $100. I think it was like $300 or something like that. And I'm on stage. I have the picture. I'm on stage and I'm with all these people, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, yeah, they're taking pictures of other winners for other things, and me, you know, whatever. And they passed me the mic. And they didn't know who I was, right? And I mean, I didn't know who I was. I was, you know what I'm saying? I got on the mic and I'm like, yeah, I want to thank, you know, Quick and Rock and Full Circle and my people from the Heights, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, for you know, whatever. And Clown, B-Boy Clown, he goes like, yo, Mach, I'm gonna take you home. I don't think it was even Mach yet. Maybe. I think Quick gave me the name already. I might have still been Luigi, but maybe. He goes, yo, I'm gonna take you home. I got you. And I was like, word, that's dope. Like, that's really nice of him. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna take me all the way back to Manhattan. Like, cool. He's like, yeah, I got you. You wanna leave right now? I was like, yeah, I guess. Like, right now. We had a jam though. I just won. I got the trophy. I'm feeling good. Like, let's get down. Let's cipher. But he's like, you wanna leave right now? I was like, all right, yeah. He's gonna give me a ride. You know, it's gonna take me forever to get home. Otherwise, you know. So we in the car. And he's like, yo, that was really cool of you, man. Like, you shouting out your crew in Full Circle, and like I really respect that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, right? I go upstairs. Y'all find out years later, these motherfuckers was plotting because they didn't like Full Circle, they didn't like Quick and Rock, and they had some beef at that time. I don't know. And when I was on the mic and I was like, yeah, Quick and Rock, they were like, oh shit, this motherfucker's a Quick and Rock student. We gonna get him. They were gonna take the money and all that shit. And I'm only saying that laughing now because, like, first of all, I don't even know if they would have really done it, and even if, you know, whatever, I don't know. But you know, I'm cool with all those people now. You know,
that's crazy, bro.
Clown somehow knew, and but it was just those were the fucking people that threw the jam. They were the motherfuckers that were plotting. And that just goes to show, breaking was different. Like, you know what I'm saying? You imagine Red Bull's like, yeah, we gonna get this guy. He got the belt. We give him $5,000, we gonna get him outside. Nah, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know, breaking, it was a whole different time. But I forgive them.
Yeah.
They're my people. I love those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still fuck them up.
That was definitely the times, though. It was, I seen somebody get, like, socked right in their mouth, though, like, in the middle of the battle. He was going up for the air flare, and somebody from the other side rushed right into the circle, right to the mouth, and the whole room broke out.
I've seen...
It was the Mighty Force San Francisco.
I seen Phantom do that. He used to laugh so much.
Oh, really?
He used to laugh so much. I seen Phantom. I seen Gravity. I've done that.
Oh, I think I seen that Gravity footage.
I got kicked out of what's that thing? Columbia. I couldn't go to Columbia. I got kicked out of Debbie Reynolds.
Oh, really?
Debbie Reynolds. For like a year, I couldn't go there. And they had the Groove Night, so I couldn't go to Groove Night for like a year.
Oh,
like a year
okay.
Change. There was growing up, there was some people that didn't really understand it. That they thought that they could press you, that they thought they could push you or talk to certain people in a certain way. You know what I mean? And they got checked.
Yeah.
And I seen a couple of them.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there for a couple of them. And it just, again, if you think about it too, most of the time, it was people that grew up a certain way and grew up with this. And it was always that they were checking somebody that wasn't too familiar with our culture.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really too familiar with the rules and, and there's an understanding that we have. Even when we battle, like you were saying earlier, like we battle and people are talking shit to each other back and forth, but there's still this level of understanding. You know what I mean? There's still this level of, even though we might be talking disrespectfully to each other, you're not gonna, you know what I mean, cross that line, because we both understand what, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of times, like, you know, I'm Latino, I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican.
Mm.
My family, you know, when we talk loud, you know what I mean? And people sometimes are like, yo, they fighting. We're not fighting. Even if we argue, yo, are you crazy? What are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. But we're not. You know, my family and my friends, you know what I mean? But we're not. It's just we have that level of understanding. And then sometimes when people come from outside of it, they're just like, man, it's the same with breaking. You know what I mean? It's the same with breaking. They see that, oh, they're yelling at each other. It's cool. I can yell at them too and push them. And it's like, oh shit, you just crossed that line. You didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't know. Like, you know, I mean, that's what I see. You know what I mean? That's why I've seen it like every time that when it happens, it's like kind of like that situation. I feel like, you know what I mean? But yeah.
That's what's up. Also, you told me that you became a member of Skillmethodz. Was this before Incredible Josh or after?
No, after.
After.
After, yeah. Because I met Quick and Rock, and I met some of the members of Skillmethodz like at the same time. I think the same day.
Oh really?
At the point. Some of Skillmethodz was training under Quick for a while. I couldn't tell you how long exactly.
Was that Venom and Technique?
Venom Technique. I know Flea was there for a little while. I don't know how much. Because when I came in, they had already been there for a while, and they were kind of like now not so there so much, and they were traveling and doing their thing. Some went back to Florida or whatever. But Technique, definitely. Venom a little bit, Abstract a little bit too.
Wasn't Abstract from Brooklyn?
A little bit too. Yeah.
At one point in time?
Yeah. And so I knew them. I knew them. You know what I mean? And I wanted to battle, and Full Circle didn't really battle like that. Quick and Rock, and I didn't really understand why when I was younger, but I definitely came to understand later on. You know, they didn't go to jams and they weren't battling. I mean, again, they were also older. Like they were into other things. They were into community building. They were into, you know what I'm saying, like
theater stuff.
Yeah, theater stuff, and like passing on the torch and still teaching. And they were just teaching constantly. You know what I'm saying? And so many names that came. You know what I mean? But anyway, but I wanted to battle. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to battle, and I did a lot of show stuff too. Like that was my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to perform. I did a lot of shows, commercial work, and all that stuff. But I got with Skillmethodz because I wanted to battle, and I always, you know, I met them, you know, pretty early on. I was inspired by them a lot, you know. And then I had my people too from Washington Heights. You know what I'm saying? They were my crew too. You know, I had a crew from Washington Heights that they were like the dudes I grew up with, the dudes I discovered breaking with. You know what I'm saying? They were like my fam. Like, but we all had different, you know what I mean, slightly different ideas what we wanted to do. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I got done with Skillmethodz like officially. It was I'm so bad with dates, I couldn't even tell you.
Was it the early 2000s?
04?
Oh, 2004?
04.
Okay.
04, 03, 04.
That was a good year for them too.
Yeah.
I remember when they came out with that Skillmethodz DVD.
Yeah, Technique did that. Yeah, that was dope.
Yo, I watched that day and night, bro. I was on that. I like the music in there.
That was dope.
They just had that one drum. Everybody's solo was dummy in that Skillmethodz DVD.
That's the kind of thing that I'm saying, like, you know, we were talking about earlier about like junk rock or whatever. It's like that was a Skillmethodz DVD done by a Skillmethodz member, and it's out, and that's what, you know what I'm saying, like that's what it should be. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, like, come on now. know what I'm saying?
I know.
Man.
I look at that too, and I just scratch my head when I see it. I'm like, bro, like, is that bold? It's like somebody just like, you went to work and you did all the work, and somebody just like signed their name like on your paperwork, saying that your work is their work.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's I that literally happened to me with my app BattleWire.
Oh.
Somebody created a somebody hit me up and literally told me, it's not like that's what I think. Like they literally told me, hey, I saw the app, I saw what you created. Even though the way you created it was in a way where everybody could use it, and it's not like locked under me. Like you could do all the features on the app. You know what I'm saying? Like created it so that everybody has access to it without hitting me up for nothing. The dude was like, yeah, so we created our own version of it. Like, you know, it's really crazy. Like, you know, coming up with the concepts, coming up with problem solving, you know what I'm saying, things, and all this shit takes a lot of time, a lot of figuring out, thinking, you know what I mean? And then it's be like, yeah, I like that, I'm gonna take that. It's the same thing with the Instagram posts and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
there's somebody on YouTube right now, so his name is Mikey Ice. It's a white kid too.
And what's he posting?
He's like a rapper, but his name is Mikey Ice.
There was a Biggie, you know the Biggie Smalls? You know Biggie Smalls, the white guy?
No, there is?
There's a Biggie Smalls. He's a white guy from back then, from back in the day, and they had a thing. You gotta look him up. Biggie Smalls. Put him right now. In the interview, cut to Biggie Smalls. Hold on, let me use the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
Hold on.